Welcome to another Telltales video. I'm Greg, and I'm here to talk about a story just published by an author I haven't read before. Someone I've been wanting to read. He just came out with a fantasy novel this year that sounds really good, and I already do have a copy of that, but I haven't started reading it. But just this week, as I record this on October 24th, a short story was released online. I believe it's also published in a physical magazine, but I only came across the online version, and so I read that right away because I saw it on a Facebook post and it sounded really interesting. Because, like I say, I've been wanting to read this author. The story is called Azalea, and the author, I'm probably going to murder his name, Paolo Bacigalupi. Bacigalupi? I don't know. um, Probably saying that wrong, but doing the best I can here. He's, of course, most famous for The Wind Up Girl, which I've never read. He hasn't really written all that much. He started publishing though way back in 1999. He published a short story called Pocket Full of Dharma in the magazine of fantasy and science fiction. And he's really only published occasionally with a pretty good period of activity between 2014 and 2017, but then he slowed down again and just kind of came back this year with a new novel called Nivola and this short story called Azalea. So Azalea was officially released October 19th, 2024. It's just a short story, and it was published in the MIT Technology Review, and it's online. But I think there is also a physical magazine associated with that it appears in. So it's just a short story, and it's not an author that I'm trying to read everything by him. And like I say, this is the first time I've ever read anything by this author. And so this is kind of a little different thing here. It's just something that it was a spur of the moment. I saw it. I've been wanting to read something by this guy. It was a short story. I thought, why not? Just read it quick, shoot a little video on it, talk about my impressions. And of course, being a short story, it's not going to be the same as reading a full novel. Reading a full novel will be a much fuller, richer experience always than short stories. So it's a little hard to get an idea of whether or not you like an author by reading one short story. At the very least, if you're going to go the short story route, you should read a collection of short stories by the author, and that way you get a good overview of their work and a good idea of whether or not you have any further interest in that author before you dive into whole novels or long long series or whatever. So anyway, what is Azalea about? I'll get to it finally. Um, it's set in a future where a lot of climate change has happened. In particular, they keep mentioning wildfires that are just out of control all over Canada. And so all over the United States, as far south as Georgia, the air is all smoky because of the winds coming down from Canada bringing smoke with it. And so people don't go outside a whole lot. The air is not so good. The story focuses on a worker a construction worker named Tasha. She's working on this brand new complex, living complex, like a big apartment, but it's more than that. And of course, it's meant for people with money, because that's the other thing is that it's the people with money that can afford to live indoors and build really nice places for themselves, while the rest of the world has to deal with the terrible climate conditions going on. And so she's working on the construction crew on this building that is state of the art, bringing an, like a pre climate change outside kind of environment inside the building so that people can enjoy, you know, nature without having to go outside in the catastrophe that is nature in this story. So the story is definitely focused on the problem of climate change and how it may worsen from here and make our world difficult to live in. And of course, focuses mainly on a couple characters who are on this construction team living in this world and what they go through in a typical day of their life. It's definitely a well written story, has a really interesting style, a lot of imagination, good characterization, nicely imagined future, and of course has a message about climate change. It's an all around good story. It's one that I think I could recommend to you, if especially if you've read other things by Bacigalupi and want to read some of his short works. Look this up. Like I say, it's online, so you can read this free, no cost. I found out about it because I follow the author on Facebook, and so he just posted a post on Facebook with a link over to the MIT Technology Review where you could read this story. And so you just click the link, go there, read it. You know, absolutely no cost to you. No, and it's a short story, so it's not going to take a lot of your time. It's worth it. It's worth it to read it because it's a good story. And so that's Azalea. If you've read it too, like me, if you've already gone and read it, leave your comments in the comments section. What did you think about it? If you have any other thoughts or stories about Bacigalupi, especially if you can phonetically spell out how to pronounce his name, that would be helpful. That would be useful. Um, Leave it in the comments section. I want to hear those things. Don't leave comments about you don't like my blue sweatshirt or where's Emily or stuff like that, because that's just not important. What's important is these stories and the authors. Let's talk about those. And like the video, subscribe to our channel, come on back for more. I do anticipate that I will be reading more by Paolo Bacigalupi, especially since I have Nivola. I'm going to read it and I pretty much shoot a video of every story I read these days. No matter how short the story may be, I just sit down quick, shoot a video. Why not? What does it hurt? And it also helps me think about the stories to do this process. So, if you haven't started your own YouTube channel doing this, it might be useful because it is good to get these conversations going. Even if you don't get people responding in the comments, it's good to just put your thoughts down in this format. It really helps you with digging deeper into literature and helps you to identify where you want to go from here. So, coming back for more of all the different authors we do. Um, especially since this is October 24th that I'm shooting this. This is going to go up. This is Thursday. It's going to go up Monday. It's still going to be before Halloween. We've got a couple of good horror related videos coming for All Hallows Eve. They're going to premiere on that night. So come on back and catch them.